Tell us exactly what you were doing and where you were as the events of October 7th unfolded.
I live in near Gaza Strip in a kibbutz Or Haner. It's a kibbutz near Sderot. And that morning I was alone my bedroom is a safe room also. And at 6:20 I just woke up for the boom and the very, very strong bombing. We are used to that. Unfortunately, we live in an area that suffers a lot of bombs attack, and we know that sometimes it can happen, but it was very intense, very intensive. Bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb, and my son, he lives in a kibbutz nearby, very close to the border, and he also messaged me that his kibbutz is also severely bombed, and that's how all started in that day, 7th of October.
And when did you realize that things had become even more serious and even more terrifying?
At the first 1 hour, I was in my safe room and the bombs all the time was falling, but in my place there was no terrorists, so I didn't know that it's such a terrible thing. But my son started to message and text and informed us that there are some things. He said there are people wounded in my kibbutz, but nobody can help them. They are lying and near the store, near the shopping store, near the shop. It was very, very strange. He filmed this video that there are terrorists in the kibbutz, and we heard gun shots like
זה פה בפנים, כן, כן. יש מחבלים בתוך הקיבוץ. חדירה. ככה עושים חדירות כהוגן, חבר'ה, יאללה. שרב בקר.
We couldn't believe. We thought it's not real. Maybe it's from near the fence. It's very close. So we said, maybe it's near the fence. Somebody's shooting, and I think at around 10 o'clock, we understood that it's very, very frightening, because he started to write us that he cannot go out of his room and there's terrorists outside shooting people, that they are shooting on his room, and then he wrote that they are inside his room. It's a little room, it's a very little room. He was in his safe room and they shot on the door. He wrote us, they are shooting on my door. They are burning my house. I don't have air. I cannot breathe. Then we understood that we don't know what is going on, and we tried to calm him, to tell him the army will come soon, they are in the way, but we didn't know nothing. We didn't know that they are in the way because there was army there, but they couldn't reach him. And we understood that something is going on, but still, we didn't understand, nothing. Just after the minute that we didn't hear from him anymore, just then we started to understand that this is happening in all the kibbutz, in all his kibbutz, Kfar Aza. And we started to watch in the television to understand what happens in the party, and still we didn't understand. we couldn't digest it. We cannot understand what's really going on.
And what was the last message that he wrote to you? What did he actually say in that message?
the last message, I don't remember exactly the last words, but the intention of him in the last messages was that he is afraid. He said to us, I love you. I don't know if I will survive that. If I will not survive, I want to tell you that I love you. I don't have air. And then I told him, open the window. And he wrote, I am afraid they are waiting outside for me. And this was the last messages.
And as a mother, how did you feel at that moment? You must have been absolutely desperate.
I couldn't think. I couldn't feel nothing. I think I was like a robot. I couldn't do nothing. I was alone in my shelter in another kibbutz. It's 10 kilometers, just 10 kilometers from us. I couldn't come out of my room. My husband, Yotam's father, he wanted to go out, but there was terrorists in all the place, so he couldn't go. His brother, Tuval, was in Jerusalem. They called the police, and we started to do things. You asked me how I felt. I felt that I need to find him, to know something about him. We couldn't imagine that what happens. We were frightened, of course, me and all the family. And we tried to be operative and to do something to help him. That was the 24 hours, the first 24 hours between 10:44 a.m. and the next day, we tried to find some clue how we can help from distance, but we couldn't help because, first of all, he was not there anymore. That fact we knew just after 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, we knew that at 10:45, they just took him from the room. But we thought he's there. So we tried to... Israel is a very small place, and people know each other. So we started to look for people that know somebody, that his son is there. And from this army, and from that army, from IDF, but there are some groups, so maybe you know somebody that is there now, and let's go and look for him. We did things. In the beginning, we did things to locate him, to try to see if he is there, if he's alive. We looked in hospitals. We thought maybe he arrived to the hospital. He's a redhead and he have a lot of tattoos. So we started to send messages to, I'm a nurse, so I have a lot of friends in hospitals. Maybe you saw, maybe somebody arrived, maybe he's not identified, but no, nothing. And how I feel like I don't feel nothing. I'm not in contact with my feeling at that time because I need to do something. I must act. I must find anything. So I couldn't connect with my. Of course, I was frightened.
And have you managed to go to his kibbutz and home since? What's left of where he lived?
Until now, I was not there. I didn't go there. I want and don't want. I know he is where he lives. It was so nice place, such a peaceful neighborhood of young people, happy people. And I saw in films what's happened there. All this neighborhood are burned to dust. What I did see, we had a friend there that went to his room, and he sent us. He just filmed the room when he was doing like a live And we saw, and what we saw, what make us a little bit, I can breathe after that. I saw the room. The first room was burning. It's burned totally. But the little shelter, the safe room, was fixed. It was okay. No, I saw afterwards shelters or safe rooms of people in Kibbutz Kfar Aza, in Kibbutz Be'eri, with blood on the floor, but nothing. No blood, no signs of violence, no burning signs of the room. So what we thought from that we saw the door was bombed. So we imagined everything. What I tell you now is imagination. I don't know anything. Just after he will come back, he will tell. Now I know, I think that they bombed the room and he went out.
So that's given you some hope, at least, that your son is alive. And how much have you heard, if anything, from either the IDF or anyone about him since?
After 1 week, that we were like, I tell, it's like a leaf in the wind, that we didn't know anything. It just was so frightened that week. I couldn't answer phone because I was afraid that they will tell me that they found the body. We didn't know nothing. Israel was in a terrible chaos in this week. We still tried. I thought in the beginning that he's still in the room for 50 hours. And still we tried to send people there, but there was terrible war in this neighborhood for maybe 4 or 5 days. Just after 1 week, we got, the army came and they gave us one clue about the telephone. They didn't tell us about Yotam, nothing, just that they found the telephone in Gaza at 12 o'clock at noon. That's what they could tell us. And the officer, she read from the paper that this is not, doesn't mean that he is alive or nothing, just the telephone. But it was first something about him. And for me, it was a lot. And also, at that point, we had connection with army people, so I knew that I don't need to listen to rumors anymore. If there will be something, they promised us, if there will be something about Yotam, you will know first. No, you don't need to listen to the television anymore. After this, we got some other news about him. We know that probably he's there and he is alive. That's what we know.
Tell us about Yotam. What kind of son is he? What kind of guy is he? What is he like? What does he love?
Yotam is a very special person. First of all, we talked a lot about his sense of humor. He have a very, very big sense of humor, and he's a very deep person. He's the second son. He's the middle for us, and he born with some medical problem. He need an operation at a very young age, and he have a way in his world. It's like special root with a lot of issues and dealing with problems and hard days, hard times for him, which make him, from one side, he's very strong, very, very strong, and we think it's helping him there. Because already he deals all his life with things, with problems. He's a musician.
Tell us about the band.
The band called Presidency. It's a heavy metal band. They are shouting, and This band for Yotam is not just a music band, it's like a home for him because of his personality, because of his complicity. He's not, he have like problems to contact just so easy. He always afraid that people will not understand him, and those guys in the Persephone band, they understand him, they know him, they can reach his soul, and they are connect with the souls. It was not from the beginning just easy like that, it took time, but they are so special people, such a special people that they saw behind what they saw him real, the real Yotam.
And how have they been coping, and how have they supported you since?
It's very, very hard for them. They are young people. They are 20, 21. They are young. And it's for them it's very, very hard. There are three in the band. One is the singer, he is the head of the band, Yossi. Since the minute it started, he was in touch with Yotam all the time, and he's in the 24 hours was very critical moments, even in the night. I remember I'm texting him, and he's texting me about Yotam and sending the points of his house to the soldiers. He's very involved with the issue. The other one, Lidor, is the guitar player. He's completely broken. He cannot breathe, he cannot do nothing. He took it very hard. They were really, really connected, and it's very hard for him. And there is another one, Danny, that is also a guitar player. Maybe one of them is bass and the other one is guitar. And at that day, Yotam was supposed to take him to the show. They had to show that day. They had a performance in Tel Aviv. And he told me, Ima, I am going at 11, I'm picking Danny, and we're going to the club. Instead of that, Danny came to Kfar Aza with the army. He's in one of the best units in one of them, and he went and tried to locate Yotam and find him, but he couldn't. He was staying, they couldn't find. And Yossi was all the time, Danny, go there, Danny, look there, but this is how the wheel turn in the world, in life. They are with us all the time, in contact with us, and they helping us a lot with getting up the awareness for Yotam. They open with his brother Tuval a page in the Instagram called Bring Yotam Back, and they ask for musicians in all over the world to play guitar or drum. Yotam is a drummer. One of the pieces that Yotam like, heavy metal or rock, and to put it inside this Instagram page. So to bring up the awareness.
It may be a situation whereby they do a deal to bring children or women and children back first, which would mean Yotam stays in Gaza.
Yes, I don't know anything, and as we know the Hamas, we know that we don't know anything about. They can in the last minute decide that we'll give something else. So I hope the children come back. Yes, they must come back, the children and the mothers and the old people. Yes, I know that, and I know that of course it cannot happen in a normal world, yes, but if the Hamas something was normal there, maybe I could hope that everybody's come. But I know it will be a long way, and it will not be easy, and Yotam, he will not be the first one to go back, even though he have a chronic disease and he needs medicines, and for sure they are not giving him this medicine because very, very expensive medicines. He got a rheumatic disease and he needs every month a shot. I am sure that he's not getting these shots there. So maybe humanitarian, maybe, but if you ask me about what I think that if it's in parts, the children must come first, of course. No question about that. If there will be a deal, if. And part of the hostages will stay there, which is what will happen, I'm sure. We must know that the Red Cross is coming, and or somehow the Red Crescent or somebody is giving us any clue about the others that stay there. That's, I think, must be included in the deal.
And what are your feelings on Israel's military response to the terror attacks? How worried are you that the operation of the IDF in Gaza could impact the safety of your son?
I know as a citizen of Israel that our IDF is very careful, and what they are doing now is the only way that our hostages can come back. Of course, if it was a deal, it was good, but the deal will come just after our army will get inside and find all the terrorists, and just then they will agree to release the hostages. I am pro this maneuver, what they are calling, the army, the IDF, what they are doing there.
And how are you just coping day by day, hour by hour even? How are you and your family dealing with this together?
Surprisingly, we are dealing with this. We, from day one, choosing to be always in the bright side of the mind, to think positively, to believe that he is strong, first of all, for his powers, and to believe I create my own, I create for myself an reality. I create now a reality in my mind that Yotam is coming back, that he is safe, that he is not happy, of course, but he is surviving that. That we are in a very bad condition. All what happens there was impossible just to think about it. I'm not alone in this story. It's me and my son, but around me there are more 240 mothers, fathers that wait also, and don't remember the 1,200 murdered people in Israel that already don't have hope for their children. So we are all in the same situation in Israel. We are just a part of the big picture. For me, I have my beliefs that until I don't hear the worst thing, he is okay, and he is coming back. That's what keeping me can wake up in the morning, brush my teeth, and start to talk about Yotam, because that's what I'm doing. From that day, we are mostly, me and my son in Tuval, we are doing things for Yotam, to talk. I don't know if it's helping, but it's very important for us to keep the issue of not just the kidnappers, people, all the situation now in Israel, the terror, and there's no place safe now in Israel to stay. All Israel is under attack, and strong belief. I think strong. I'm not religious person. I'm not religious at all, but I have my faith inside that if I will be strong, Yotam also will be. he will be strong also.
And what would you say to Yotam if you could speak to him right now?
That we are all doing the best for him here, what we can. That Israel is doing the best they can. That we have a strong army, that they are in the way. That he must believe also.
And what will be the first thing you do when he comes home?
I think we will laugh. First of all, a hug, of course. What we can do, hug him and ask, I don't know, I think hug. That's what I feel, that we want to hug him again.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.